Hey, Old Gaming Guru here. I'm about day 6, I think, of Dwarven Realms. So I've got about 6, 7 hours in it, maybe more. But I'm basically going to give you my opinion of this versus PoE and Last Epoch, which are both very well-known games in the AARPG genre. And Dwarven Realms is an up-and-coming contender. It's made by 2 people. So far, I've actually really enjoyed it, and it's another one of these AARPGs where you're basically questing constantly to get better gear, to fight harder mobs to get better gear. So if you like that kind of thing, you like Dwarven Realms. It is a lot of grinding for stuff, but the grind is actually pretty pleasant, and the maps and stuff are a little bit different than what you experience in PoE and Last Epoch. They're basically spawning mobs all the time, and you kill as many as you can to get the best loot. So whereas those are usually flat surface realms or instances or maps where you run through and basically try to kill everything as fast as possible to get to the boss and then get back out, repeat. This is, you can stay in maps longer, mobs will regen, and they will continue to spawn loot. Timer will kick you out of an instance. So without further ado, I'm going to do this video on basically Hey, this is Old Gaming Guru. Today I'm actually going to give you my progress update on Dwarven Realms, kind of like I did with PoE. Dwarven Realms is kind of a cross between PoE and Vampire Survivors. I think you're going to find is that it's definitely a different game than PoE, so if you like PoE or Last Epoch, you will like Dwarven Realms. It's also going to be a grind for gear. Don't kid yourself, is you're going to spend a lot of time trying to upgrade gear. And I've gotten to a point now where I've actually played the game enough where I think I can give you some advice on how to start off and how to do well in the game. And I'm going to basically introduce today the hideout, and also I'm going to run through a quick instance for you just to show you how my characters come along since I did my last video. Alright, so hey, really quickly, so right now, I can't even remember what level I'm at. It's 100 something, and that was all done within a week. Leagues are short periods of time, just like they are in Last Epoch and PoE. Right now, I'm sitting at the leaderboards. What? My rank is unavailable. Oh, okay, never mind. So let's jump in. I have to go into the game and actually show you where I'm at in the leaderboards. So 6 days of play. I'm level 166, if you can believe that. And I'm going to jump into this and show you what the hideout's all about. Your key to being successful in this game is dealing enough damage and have enough survivability to get through increasing harder instances, and to be able to stay in there and kill the mini bosses and get as much loot as possible. And to do that, you have to know your hideout pretty well. So I'm just going to give you the base things you need to know about your hideout. So when you actually start building your hideout, it should look something like mine. You're going to find a scholar's desk. When you actually go in and fight monsters, and you also will see on the ground and sometimes have rare bookshelves, you will be given these tomes, and they give you varying amounts of experience. Make sure you get these. It's the fastest way to level up. You can usually, if you pick up a bunch of these in one instance, you can get an additional level. You get stuff for killing stuff, of course, but then again, too, it's really nice to have a bunch of those books at the end. Also, too, you can get additional books. There'll be a spot where you turn in your essences, and always do that unless you're going to do another instance right away, but turning in your essences gives you more of the experience, books and tomes. Alright, so here's your crafting stations. You can craft things, and hey, little tip here, craft all over here will craft everything that you can possibly make. You're going to start off with planks. This is true of all the crafting stations. You start off with planks, and then you get better planks as you level. So you will get this from the beginning, and you'll get your experience books from the beginning. So you can do metals, woods, and also plants. And remember, craft all is the quick way to craft everything once you start getting a number of different things that you can craft. but you only get one to start with, and these come at different levels. Okay, your workbench is where you actually build things, and everything has what's called crafting specs. So this has no crafting specs. If it has a crafting specs, you can change or upgrade an attribute. That's very important. All right, so let's see if I have something here. Okay, that's a legendary, and I won't have any. But my regular items, okay, here's one with a crafting spec. And I want to put a little bit more one-handed damage. I could also change it to something else by altering that affix. But you're going to be stuck with RNG as to what you can upgrade to. So basically is you can get a great item, and if it's got 2 or more things that need to be changed, you probably are going to have a hard time making it 100% valuable for your build. All right, so while I'm here, let's go ahead and upgrade one-hand damage. And I can upgrade it all the way to its maximum number of specs, or I can just upgrade 1 level. Let's do that. I've got that. Let's put some more damage on there. And by the way, damage is the absolute thing that you need the most of if you want to blow through levels quickly. If you put points into strength, so prioritize strength and anything else that gets you damage. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this. Let's just finish up putting in damage. Every point of damage is sacred in this game. And one of the things I did is I respecced and put more into strength and damage than I had before, and it took my combat rating from 800, which is a measure of how well you're going to do against the monsters and the instances. So I went from 800 to 4,000, and you can see that right here. I'm at 3,700. Okay, you press I, by the way, to open this. So really quickly is make sure, like I did, is put more into strength. You can never have enough strength, which is basically your base damage. Okay, so stamina is your health, and the rest of it you can go ahead and figure out what you want to get up, your damage and your combat rating. Okay, so base damage and how my rating, it shows how it's balanced. Crit chance is also good. So the more you crit, the more you do damage, and the higher multiplier you get. So I've got a really nice multiplier there. You can actually pick that up with the luck trait right here. So make sure you put a little bit into luck just so you get this number up high. So you're critting. If you want to build a crit build, make sure you put it up high enough to actually do that. So that being said, oh, I missed this one. These two here. Rupture cards come later. I don't have one available. You get these from actually collecting quartz, but these cards actually allow you to pick additions to your different skills. So what's cool about this is if you actually go in and can see these cards, you might have damage and luck like this card, or max health and stamina, or max health and luck. So you can pick these cards. You can also re-roll them. This comes, I think, at about a level 20 or so, it may be a little bit higher. The same kind of with monogram thrones. Be patient. You have to level up. You have to clear instances to get these particular things to unlock. Okay, so monogram throne allows me to take a 4 item. So if it has 4 traits on it, I can actually put a 5th trait in. On this one, I have elite container essence cost is reduced by 10%. That went on when I actually put that in there, and you can craft that, okay? So, and those cost a particular type of currency. Disenchant basically allows you to disenchant everything. And it's nice, you can actually put your magical items in, then your legendaries, and your offhands, and then pets, okay? So you can basically farm all of those for materials. And I really, really like the system versus like PoE where you got to look at each item. You can pretty much tell at a glance what you're going to keep and what you're going to throw away. Boxes, you start off with one. As you go through and create instance levels and you finish those instance levels, you will actually get more stash boxes. Alright, so then on this other side over here, by the way, F is your horse if you don't like space barring to travel. But we've got a bench that also appears, and this will allow you to actually create and modify your what's called offhands. These are your offhands. The belt comes much later. I think it's level 38. So offhands are great because they give you another basically passive attack that'll actually drop on the ground or circle around you, or it's going to do something. I chose Spark, and Spark basically drops a ball of lightning on the ground that damages anything that's near it. So for my belt offhand, I chose Chain Lightning, which then allows me to go ahead and spray lightning throughout my foes. And you can modify these here by placing your offhand and then having the appropriate materials, and then you upgrade. Once again, this will come, like I said, these are later levels. This guy shows up pretty quick, and he actually allows you, this is how you get more crafting options. And you can see this is available, and to do this, it's going to actually require a million gold pieces. All right, so this is how you actually can craft more advanced gems and build also too. You can build keys, you can build maps, there's all sorts of things you can build, and it would take a huge tutorial to go over that. But this is where you upgrade your crafting stations. This then is the instance to go into open world. This takes you to the multiplayer and fellowship or guild section. These three over here are also important. This allows you to change your alchemy items into other alchemy items that you may need. So if I want to build more lightning into my offhands, I need lightning scraps. That's all I do. Now I can run back over here and see if I have enough to upgrade my belt some more. And I do. All right. And that's what most of these three benches are for crafting advanced materials to help you upgrade things. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and craft this and show you what this does. These are actually really, really important for probably one of your most important pieces of equipment you'll get, and it will happen as you're leveling. And I think it's 10, but it's around in there somewhere. You'll get this item, but I'll show you what you're going to do with it. Okay, it's probably the most powerful item in the game, and you're only going to get one from what they tell you when you actually do it. So if I want to add some armor to this, I create that. If I want to add some damage to it, I create that. And I'm a one-handed, and that's it. All right, so now let's go to my inventory with the I key. All right, so this, as you can see here, adds a ton of bonuses, a ton. Okay, so these bonuses, when you open up your inventory with your I key on this fossil, add a lot of damage, a lot of health, and a lot of tankability. When I created those gems, I right-click on them, and it adds it to that automatically. So let's take a look at my armor right now. My armor on this, if you go down, is 46.93%. If I click that there, the armor goes up to 47. Damage, my damage right now is 47.2. It is now 47.81. So it very slowly inches up and improves that stone, which is probably your number one item. Your respec is over here. This guy allows you to go ahead and buy a coin from him to go into a dungeon, which I have not completed. She gives you your daily tasks. This allows you to create things, to create keys. And right now I only have 2 keys that I can make. And I create these, and then these stones then create the key. So it's a lot of farming there to create those keys. You will also be given stuff for your dailies. This over here allows me to also create stuff and keys, and allows me to create special keys, the runic keys here, the key to different dungeons are here as well too. And you can see now I can create one key to Alicia's chamber, which is really, really good. It's also how you get your pet. This one I'm not 100% sure on, but there are sometimes there will appear really rare dwarven chests that will open up in your instances. This allows you to also create other keys, and there's the key that it creates. And Gravedigger's Cove, as soon as you can, and it's level 38, do Gravedigger's Cove to get your belt. So all these keys now can be created over here. This guy is pretty cool too. He allows you to trade all your inventory, or as much as you want, for what's called Elven Faction. This harp then opens up another skill tree, and I've specced heavily into damage. Big surprise from the opening. So you get a number of points available with each level of Elven Faction you get, and then this is actually used to raise one of your skill trees. The skill tree is not hotkeyed, it's only available through this harp. This allows you to go to another kingdom. I haven't done that yet. And then this allows you to create a fellowship. And then these are available fellowships. And that pretty much is your hideout. So I'm going to quit just babbling and let's go ahead and jump into an instance and let's see how this guy does. Remember, it gets harder and harder the higher the instance level you are. So when I open up the map, it will tell you exactly what you get from completing that level. So if you want to plan, and okay, I really want to get this so I can up my damage, I want to get my crafting bench up or whatever, it will tell you where you get that at. So you work through this main Dwarven land here, then you go and do the side Dwarven lands basically in any order you want. So you can jump from the swamps to Myr to Macedon, and around there will be the dungeons that get unlocked from doing this map. So this unlocks your crafting, your gear, and also to the dungeons. So as you get up, you can see here I've got to get to level 45 to fight Elisa the dragon, and I got to have a key. Okay, so the dungeon requires a key, it requires you to be the appropriate level, and then you can go into the dungeon. You create the keys in your lair. Alright, so right now I just want to just jump in and show you what it looks like to go into the swamps here. Level 58 is where I'm at right now. By the way, if you are struggling, the number one thing to do is, if you have to, go over to that respec portal like that and put as much into damage as you can. Use your equipment to bring up your other traits. Another thing you need to do, everywhere, make sure that you go ahead and level up. I don't have enough essences to get that. Your skills and instant skills. Okay, the Q and the R button are going to become your friend here. These will become your friends, these time instances. So I'm using Q and R to drop my shadow and to also do my big bomb here. The mana or blue globe is how much mana do you have to do something. The best way to get essences, which are your way to open up crates, is to kill the yellow bosses. Best way to kill yellow bosses is to drop your abilities on them and then use your special ability. So you saw, if they're standing in my lightning, that lightning that I'm creating, and that is spark, it comes from my offhands. So that'll drop automatically. Then Q, little shadow guy there, goes and kills just about everything. You can see I'm taking damage. I've got some life leech built into this. You should be clearing something like I am right now, probably even better. Okay, got a level, awesome. So we want to drag these guys back into my spark. And you're going to keep doing this until, and pick up all the stuff on the ground, grab all the chests you can, grab those time things. If you see them, grab them. Focus on those yellow mobs. If you are not taking them down fast, the yellow mobs down fast, is they will pretty soon become hard to. They'll overwhelm you because they throw down a lot of AoE stuff. Double click, this is my biggest complaint on the game. The double click on this is what makes you auto attack. And it shuts off every time you use space to actually evade, dodge. And it will probably drive you nuts as well too. I hope they fix this, because it's the only thing, just an excellent game. Alright, we're going to open up the boss pathway. Make sure I've got all my crates. Rocks. Ooh. I did not jump when I was supposed to move. Health potions will drop. You can also increase the number of health potions you can carry. See what I mean? This drops. Every time that I do spacebar, it seems to want to drop my auto attack. Okay, auto attack's on. There it goes, drops it again. They really just need to turn this into a toggle, like it was before. Because it's just so hinky. The other thing too to pick up, these guys give you buffs, they're called, and they also give you crafting materials. My pet is dropping stuff for me to heal myself. So I think they're called bugs in the game, but those bugs actually drop buffs, and those buffs you can see are accumulating at the top of the screen. There's a lot going on here, I know, but it's a slug. Okay, and he adds to my buffs. Okay, I don't need any more offhands right now. I sacrificed a lot of survivability for damage, and I'll tell you what, I've been happier ever since. Alright, so we got, what are these again? There goes my auto attack. This is what your clear should feel like. And you see, the more of these bosses I kill, the more of these drop. Okay, I leveled up. Let's go get the boss. See if I can beat him. Got him. Alright. And that's what your bosses look like. And that pretty much is gameplay, and you're going to keep doing this as you go up in instances. The bosses get tougher, the mini bosses get tougher, and then you'll get a chest as a reward. And there's the loot that I've got. I got some experience books. I've got some things to add to my thing here, which is my fossil. And then I've got some other crafting materials. I did not get an upgrade to my blade. And there you have it at the end of the day. So that pretty much is the game in a nutshell. I think you'll really, really like it. You just need to be patient. I mean, you need to understand you're going to get things kind of spoon-fed to you. So if my explanation doesn't explain everything, trust me, you'll understand. There's a good tutorial when they introduce new things. They'll give you a short tutorial on exactly what it does, but you do need to explore each of the different things that you get and see exactly what it offers you and play around with the crafting system. Play around with crafting because it really is quite detailed. So I take everything, I'm done. I'm then going to be given this monogram enchantment, which I can't use until I guess I get level 25 gear, but it's there, and that allows me to put 5th. So it allows me to put on, let me see if I have one here, and here's one right here. So it allows me to put on that yellow buff on that idol. So that's allows you to put that fifth affix on. All right, so I got 3 points for my leveling. There's my horse. I have no cosmetics as of yet, and I've got a pet, and the pet can also get cosmetics. This is not play to win, so the basically cosmetics are just for improving appearances, just like PoE, and also to Last Epoch. So there you go. For a $10 game, this has a ton of value, a ton of replay value. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a big spreadsheet, but if you master the spreadsheet, you'll enjoy this. And if you find yourself struggling, just remember this one bit of advice. You cannot have enough damage. So anything that affects your damage, prioritize over everything else, and trust me, you'll be a lot happier. If you look here, I'm now running almost all my points in strength. These are all pretty much coming from, except for stamina, which I did put some points into. So I've been trying to do like a 1 for every 3 points of strength. I put a point into stamina. These are coming from gear and also my skill trees. All right, so let me just open these up and I'll show you one more thing here. Okay, I'm going to go back to my hideout. So let's turn these in for experience books. And now I'm going to go back to my home fort. You will get multiple portals once you level up. So this allows me to jump into another instance right away. But this time I'm going to go back and I'm going to give you my last bit of really important advice. There are 3 ways to increase your damage outside of gear and your stats. The first is your passive one-hand or skills, which are by your weapon. These will level up as you level up. There's no other way to do that. It allows you to set up your special attacks. So I have Shadow Slice and 1,000 Cuts. So as this goes up, you'll see it starts adding damage. Okay, and that is, once again, the J key. The K key is your skill tree. And I've got 2 points available here. And I've placed a lot of emphasis on getting majors. These majors here, which, as you can imagine, I do lightning damage, so I've prioritized lightning damage. So these, you want to try and grab as many of these as possible. And once again, that is the K key. The I key allows you to allocate your skill points, strength and stamina, which then determine your combat rating and damage. Okay, so anything that raises that damage, raise it. All right, the last place you can do it is the place I already showed you, but it's this harp, which you get skill points by crafting and breaking stuff down into its components, and you can also buy points right here from this guy. So if I go to him and I say, I'm going to give you everything, and I gift it to him, I get levels. Then I go to this tree here and I have 9 points I can now allocate. So I'm going to take and put them all into damage. I just gave myself 10 points there. And, oh, by the way, you have to fill that out. I don't know why. Okay, so it's the first time I've done this. I may have to have the rest of this all maxed out. But it's okay because it's just more damage. But once that's done, I should be able to start adding damage directly, 1 point for every point I put in there. So I just increased my damage by 10%, which is really, really good. So that's how you increase damage. That's all the ways I've found. If you have any other ways, let me know. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did. And also too is hey, throw me a note, a comment. Or what am I doing good? What am I doing bad? I like to hear from you, and I will always try to get back to you as soon as I see you've actually sent me something. But this is it for this episode of Dwarven Realms. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. I loved Vampire Survivors, so I love this. And of course I love PoE and Last Epoch, hence why I have videos on it in my channel. But that's it for now. And then here is where I'm at right now. I'm at 3,369 on the leaderboard. I don't know how deep the leaderboard is, but I know it's at least 10,000 because I think I started well beyond 10,000 when I first started playing the game. So right now I'm at 3,300, and that's 1 week in. And don't forget, these are leagues. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video by exiting. Thanks for watching.